This video is around how to send an email to a group of people who are registered for one of our events. Like say you're helping out the Sangha by teaching a class. This is how you could send an email to everyone in your class. You don't need their email addresses. You just use our Wild Apricot system that does the registration in the website. And it'll send it to the people who are currently registered. So the first step before doing anything with Wild Apricot is you need to go to the website. So here I am. And you need to be logged in. And you know that you're not logged in if you see this login button on the upper left. If you are logged in, it'll say your name there. So I'll just log in. Sometimes it makes you do extra stuff. Now see, my name is in the upper left, and a new thing shows up on the upper right called Admin View. That's what you want. So click on Admin View. And now, even though there is an option here that says email, that is not what you want. It can be useful later. You want events. So hover over events, and there's an option for event list. So your class, retreat, whatever it is, in Wild Apricot is called an event. Double check that these dates that filter what it shows go out into the future a good bit. Here I'm to the end of 2024. And make sure this says upcoming, or you won't be able to find it. Then the quickest is to just type in part of the name. This is a nice feature. So I'm going to send an email to the people signed up for this year's Precepts cohort, which starts tomorrow. Oops, and I went a little too fast there. Once it came up, you just click on this anywhere. So here it says Precept Studies. There are 14 people signed up, including the teachers. Click on it. And now again, there's an emails front and center, but it's not the one you want. So there are two places you can go afoul here. In the first admin screen, you want events. And in this event screen, so here's like all kinds of details about your event, the description, when it meets, where it meets, and so on. Lots of details. At the very top is an option called Email Registrants. That's what you want. Click on that. Then you can make all kinds of pre-created templates, which is the beginning of your email. For these, you almost always want to do this one upper left called Basic Announcement. So click on that. And then the main thing to notice here is where it says start typing here. Click there. And then you can start typing. In this case, I have a pre-written email, so you could also write your email ahead. And like in any computer program, copy and paste it from a Word doc or from a Google Doc. So here's my email. I notice sometimes copying and pasting puts some extra lines in between paragraphs, so let's clean those up really quick. Okay, so and you can format things, make them bold, not bold. You can add links. You can do the usual kinds of things. And there are some more advanced things to do if you want to include an attachment, but let's just focus on sending a nicely written and formatted email. And this template will put our Sangha logo on the top. Is nice. So now again, notice the top. There's kind of like a step-by-step wizard kind of thing here. So templates was the first thing. We just picked one. And this was design. We just did design. And now we go to the next one, which is preview. It's a good idea to read it over again. It's almost always a good idea to have someone else proofread if it's of any length, but we won't worry about that right now. And then there's something to do here in the fourth step, which is recipients. So recipients, in this case, you don't need to say who's going to receive this email. The system knows that you're sending it to everyone registered in your class. So see under recipients, it says current event registrants. And It doesn't list them off, so have faith, they're there. The thing to change is the subject line of your email. It defaults to from Red Cedar Zen Community, but it's more, people are more likely to open it if you change it to something specific to them. So I'm going to say our precepts class starting tomorrow. And this is a little bit advanced, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. It defaults to when they receive the email, if they hit reply, it goes to whoever's logged in when it's created. So the replies for this precepts class would go to me. But I'm going to actually change that to Hannah, who sent me this message. But you shouldn't need to do that. But you could check this. I mean, and take your time on each of these steps and read over the whole thing. You go fast. It's not too complicated once you know this flow, but if you go a little slower, there's fewer mistakes, and our messages are a little more clear and easy to understand. Then the last step is review and send. Notice here it says how many people it's sending to, 13. There's one little problematic thing here. Somebody has decided they don't want to get emails from us, so they won't get these. So in the class, I'll encourage the teachers to ask if anybody didn't get the email, and we can remedy that in their account. It's a little bit of a bummer. So they must have thought we were sending too much email earlier and turned it off, and now they're taking one of our classes, and it's going to limit their participation a little bit. So anyway, then send it now is the default here. You can also schedule for later, but we're ready. Hit send. And then there's a little kind of follow-up screen, which mostly you don't need to worry about too much, but you can actually track how many of them were delivered and when, and whether people clicked on anything, whether they opened it, and so on. That's more important for large emailings like a newsletter. Okay, so that's how in Wild Apricot to send an email to a class in which you're teaching or running in some way. And ideally, if you yourself are registered for that class, you'll get a copy of this. So that's an important, just kind of triple check. It should come to you, and you can see exactly what the class participants are seeing.